we also get to hear from some of the senior leaders from within BIC, which is a great privilege and a fantastic opportunity for you as students to gain a great insight and to support you in your further careers. I don't know if I've just introduced myself or not, but just really quickly, my name is Amy and I am the Chief Operating Officer for Enactus UK. And so for the benefit of you that are new to Enactus here, I just wanted to share a really quick introduction to who we are at Enactus UK and what our mission is as an organisation. So in brief, Enactus is the UK's, I think we're going through, yeah, super, there we go. So in brief, Enactus is the UK's leading combined youth social action and youth social enterprise charity, developing thousands of young entrepreneurial spirits every single year. At Enactus UK, we believe our experiential platform is a great bridge between the world of work and higher education, as we work to develop skills that often can't be taught in the classroom or a lecture theatre. Through our network, we bring together students, academics, and business leaders to create student-led social and environmental enterprises, which work towards addressing one or many of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which gives our students an opportunity to really make a difference to their local and international communities, whilst building on their personal and professional development skills. One way in which we do this is through opportunities such as the partner competitions, which is what we're going to be talking about just a little bit later on today. Before we do get there though, we are kicking off today's session with a really special introduction and update from BIC's Corporate Foundations Executive Director, Alison James. So Alison, I'm not sure if you're able to come off mute now, but it's great to have you with us today, Alison. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Amy. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm also delighted to see many of my colleagues joining us on the call today. So we're very excited to have this conversation and to take part in this wonderful organisation. So
fantastic. No problem. Thank you for being here. So I know that we've got a little bit of time now, just before we go into the breakout rooms and really get to know some of the other foundations and BIC corporate leaders. But I wonder if we could just kind of kick straight off by asking about the exciting new update to the BIC Corporate Foundation and the new strategy that you have. I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure thing. So for those of you who don't know much about the foundation has an overarching mission, which is all about providing access to quality education for all. It ties into the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals number 4, which is around providing quality education. We target specifically programs that support kids and youth from underserved and disadvantaged communities. And we've been doing that for about 5 years now. So there's nothing that has changed about our overarching mission. But in our new focus and our new strategy, what we want to do is to tie the types of programs that we're supporting much more directly into our BIC Group Horizon strategy, which is on the stationery side of the business. As you know, we make pens and shavers and lighters. On the stationery side of the business, we have a new strategy which is centered around supporting human expression. So one of the aspects of education programs that we feel is lacking, primarily due to resource issues, is a focus on creativity. And creativity obviously is very linked to human expression. So our focus now is to support the programs that develop creative skills, and with that, creative thinking and problem solving. And obviously with Enactus, you guys are learning entrepreneurship skills. And so we see this very much being in alignment with the work that we're doing. So we really believe that many of the school systems are globally under-resourced, or if they have resources, they've got to make significant choices in how they spend their money or their budgets. And so quite often what's been happening, and I know this to be certainly the case in the UK, the support for creative skills, so whether it's through arts, whether it's through speech, theatre, music, quite often in the school systems, those programs have been underfunded. So we are very specifically pivoting our funding towards the not-for-profits that specifically focus on developing skills of creativity and creative thinking. And we have actually a little video. I can talk for hours on this topic, but it's probably more efficient use of time for us to show you this little video. It's only 1:30. And so somebody somewhere in the interwebs is going to play this video. I hope you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I think that somebody's Caroline, so we will do that. And Caroline, I don't know whether you wanted to just put the link in the chat as well, just in case the internet isn't working for some as well.
Of course. Am I okay to do that just after I?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course.
Thank you.
Creativity. It's a manifestation of the soul and an outpouring of emotion. A vehicle for human expression and the healthiest of all rebellions. It's experimenting and taking risks. A contagious curiosity for everything that teases your senses. It's the courage to scribble on walls when the world expects you to colour within the lines. At the BIC Corporate Foundation, we believe in the power of creativity as the driver of change and the cornerstone of progress. As an understated yet integral part of a well-rounded education, one that inspires a brighter future for all. We believe in fostering creativity in all its forms, in everyone, everywhere, with no exceptions. Why? Because it underscores our mission to drive equal access to quality education for all. Because it helps build up the confidence to break down barriers. Because it empowers our youth to make their mark on this world. Creativity. It's a powerful means to a new beginning. All it takes is the tools to express yourself and a little imagination.
There we go. So hopefully that paints the picture for you.
Yeah. That was amazing. Really, I love that. I love the move towards creativity. I think it's such an important thing to share. So thank you so much for sharing that. So can I just ask though, Alison, in terms of creative skills, why do you think it's so important for our kids and our youth to develop this skill set?
Sure. Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of educators and researchers doing a lot of work to think about what do we need for the future. If we think about the future jobs that are going to be out there. And so the OECD, the Brookings Institute, the World Economic Forum, they've been doing a lot of research on the skills for the future. And as I was thinking about the foundation and how we could have better impact, I came across a report by the World Economic Forum, which in 2020 published a report they called Schools of the Future. And it was all about defining new education models for the fourth industrial revolution. And that research really underpinned the importance of creative skills in the school curriculum. And I really do think that if you kind of ask the philosophical question, why do we have education? Why do we take our kids through schooling? It's really to prepare them for the competencies that they need to be able to thrive and survive in society in the future. So really our hope is that by focusing on creative skills, we can be helping students of many ages. And at the foundation, we support programs for kids aged between 5 and quite frankly, all the way up to 30, which is definitely more youthful than me at this stage in my life. So we just really believe that it's very, very important. And we think that if we can focus on these creative skills and creative problem solving, we're going to be equipping our students and our kids with a better skill set for the future. Because frankly, when you think about machine learning and AI and all of the technologies that are coming up now, many of the jobs that I certainly did when I was younger, or that maybe you guys are even considering today, in 5, 10, 15 years' time, they're not actually going to be around. So creativity is an essential skill for innovation. It's an essential skill for entrepreneurship. And so we just think it's fabulously important.
Yeah, 100%. And you're so right. The world changes at the moment at such an incredible pace that I think it's hard for any of us to keep up. So constantly rethinking about what skill sets are important, not only for the world of work, but for our lives and what we're trying to achieve as well, I think is incredibly important. So it's great to see the work you're all doing at the BIC Foundation to support that. Excellent. Thank you for that, Alison. And thank you so much for updating us on the plans for the BIC Corporate Foundation.
And we'll have a bit of a chat about what this is. So I will be kind of passing over to Alicia, who will be giving a big insight as well. So from an Enactus UK perspective, hopefully you'll have all seen the website, the BIC Partner Competition website, where it gives you a full rundown of the process. It gives you lots of different project ideas. And it's, of course, where you managed to find your way here. So fingers crossed you've all seen it. But really, the BIC Partner Competition is open to applications from Enactus projects which empower young people up to the age of 30 from underserved communities to use creativity for a better and more sustainable world. So what that really means in practice is developing projects which benefit your local community and have elements of innovation and creativity, which we spent the session talking about, and really focuses around one of the 6 BIC Corporate Foundation focus areas, which Alicia will go into a little bit of detail about later on. But what I would say about those is really encourage you to have a look at all of those resources that are on the website, because I think the word body expression could mean so many different things. So I would encourage you not to take the name for granted, really delve into all these different aspects that you can explore with your projects. So I'm conscious of time, so I'll try and keep things running smoothly. But the process for this competition is you've all attended, which is great, which is step 1. To the launch, but the next step is submitting your application, which you can find via the website that's in front of you. I'll be able to send this in a follow-up email if you don't already have it, but I'm hoping that I've flooded everywhere with this, so you will find access to it, or just quickly make a note of it now. The deadline for that is 12 o'clock on Friday, the 29th of October. So I do encourage you to act fast, get your project team together to create a fantastic application. It is all via Google Form, so hopefully it'll give you a really good accessibility option, but please submit those by 12 p.m. UK time on Friday the 29th of October, because that means we can get things moving. Because at the next stage, the week commencing the 15th of November, the initial funding will be allocated to our team. So in the top 10 teams will then be invited to progress to the next stage. So that is your opportunity to kind of get that initial funding, work out how that's going to best get your project impact this year. And then in the week commencing the 24th of January, that's your project presentation to a panel of BIC and BIC Corporate Foundation judges. And then the top 3 teams will then receive additional funding, and you'll be assigned BIC project mentors to, again, really accelerate your project process so we can present a fantastic project at the national competition. So that's the plan. And then the top 3 teams will then be creating a 77-second video, which will be showcased at our National Expo in April. So please do, if you have any questions about that process, let me know, because we can answer some of those at the end. We'll leave 5 minutes to discuss those. But my top tips would be to research the BIC Corporate Foundation. Hopefully, Alicia will give you some insights in a little while. But really try and integrate this into your application. Our strongest applications are where we don't have to hunt to find the link to the BIC Corporate Foundation and the 6 focus areas. Like, really try and talk about how your project meets the BIC competition brief and how it meets those 6 focus areas. So thinking about everything that Alison talked about at the start of the session, the video, hopefully what you gained from your conversations, there'll be really strong applications if you can manage to integrate that within your application form. Also, get, like I said, review all of the resources available. Think about how your project can take inspiration from these. Think about all the different ways that you can start to build your project. Both new project ideas, existing projects are both welcome. We'd love to see lots of different ideas and applications submitted to us, but do make sure you review. before you submit. Make sure somebody else has seen it, checked your spelling mistakes, checked over if it even makes sense. Sometimes you just need somebody to sense check your work. I know I do. I think I have about 4 people that sense check my work. But just make sure you talk to your university advisor, your other team members, everyone's seen it, everyone knows what we're all aiming towards, and thinking about that project focus. So just double check that you're not the only one who'll have seen it. And then the last one, just really think carefully about how your project meets the brief. I know I've said this again and again, but this is the most important aspect of your application. So really try and be specific to why are you applying for the BIC partner competition? Why BIC? Why your project? Why should we choose you? Like, remember, you really want to convince us as to why we should be supporting your project this year. So those are my top tips. Before I hand over to Alicia, Amy, I don't know if you've got anything you wanted to add to that before we move on.
No, I think you've covered some of the really good top tips there, Caroline. I think the only other thing I would say is make it interesting to read. Both us, me and Caroline, and everybody at BIC will be reading through lots and lots and lots of partner competition applications. There are some times where we get over 30 that come through. It's a lot to read. So the more kind of creative, use creativity in your approach and make it innovative so that it's exciting for us to read. Because that's going to really stand out and help us understand that you're really using creativity, which is what the partner competition is all about, to really make a difference. So that's the only thing I would add onto that. But I think you've covered some really good top tips there, Caroline.
Fantastic. I will then pass over to Alicia.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to give some examples of projects that we are currently supporting, or projects that we feel are aligned to what we, sorry, I'm just going to put this in full screen mode, that we feel are aligned to our new strategy. So as you have seen, we have 6 focus areas. We're really focusing on projects tackling one or more of those areas. For example, we have recently partnered with Play Africa. They are basically, what they're in South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, what they're going to do is that they're going to implement, they're going to train teachers and trainers in communities, organizations, and in schools that are going to develop and give design thinking workshops for children. Basically, what they're going to do is ask the children to identify social challenges or issues that they might have in their communities, and to generate, prototype, and test possible solutions for these issues. Basically, using the design thinking approach, they're going to develop their critical thinking, their problem solving skills, communications, teamwork, and especially they're going to gain self-confidence by seeing how they actually proposed a solution and effectively and proposed an actual solution to a problem. So this is an example of one project targeting, in this case, children from underserved communities between 7 and 12 years old, that will help them to have an innovative view of the world and to become those innovative, active citizens of tomorrow. Then moving forward with a project that we support, the Indifesa radio network in Italy. So what they do is in this project, they want children to become active citizens that raise awareness about gender stereotypes, discrimination, bullying, and cyberbullying, all while promoting a culture of inclusiveness and respect. So they train children to create their own radio networks, to develop their content, to know how to manage a web radio, a team, and how to execute crowdfunding campaigns for them to be able to purchase the material that they need for the radio, for them to be able to have to buy the time that they're going to use for their program in a radio, and so on. So on one side, it has this, it tackles this important issue of bullying and gender stereotypes, and on the other side, it develops key entrepreneurial skills among these children, such as also problem solving, critical thinking, teamwork, communications, going out and trying to diffuse their programs and to convince people to hear them, and to also do crowdfunding initiatives for them to have the funds to continue to be able to continue implementing their radio network program. And then moving forward with a program that we support here in France is Stories Lab, and basically they give creative writing workshops led by poets. It can be led by novelists, slammers. Really, it's very broad in terms of the type of person that can lead these workshops. And basically, every year they have different topics. For example, one year we supported what would the ocean say to the world, and it was obviously tackling the whole environmental issues, contamination, and so on. And basically, students had to write a letter to the world and to to humanity, as if they were the ocean, saying what's happening, what would they like to see, what changes would they like to be brought on, and so on. And what they really try to do, for example, is usually these students are at the verge of dropping out or are already out of the system, and they do not have confidence. They do not have confidence to write, especially because of the fear of having grammar errors in their writing. So basically, it's just trying to get them to express themselves, to paste with their thinking in paper, and they work from them on improving their their writing skills. So I don't want to go any further, but other type of projects, just really briefly, for example, also eloquence and speaking, public speaking is also a type of project that we support. Artistic daycare for children from underserved communities. I think those are those are some of the examples that you already have. I can send the list of these NGOs if you want to, and go into their websites, discover their websites, and see more or less the type of programs. But especially in many cases, maybe you already have a program, you can add an artistic or music or creative component, and this way align it with our strategy and with our call for projects and big challenge for this year. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Got 4 minutes. Could I just ask anyone if they've got any questions? Now's your perfect chance to ask them. Anybody got any questions? Just take yourself off mute if you have a question about the...
Are we asking about the partner competition specifically, Caroline?
Yes, please. Yes. That would be great.
Super. I think someone's got their hand up.
Israel.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, while you were talking about the competition, I literally had technical difficulties. So I just have one question. I think I've gathered enough information, but can you work in teams, or can you, like, for example, if you have an idea and you have a team involved, can you submit individually for that team or for that project?
So
or is it just, yeah.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, so it's an opportunity for you to work with your project. So if it's a new project, maybe take it to your Enactus committee, say you'd love to start it, because this partner competition is great for new projects, and an opportunity for you to bring people together, and we can work to develop that. A question about the slides being emailed. We can definitely get those sent across to you. A lot of the information, I'm going to be honest, I did recycle. It is on the website that I've already popped in the chat. So it is on the BIC partner competition website. It has all the information about the process. It has the great video that Alison showed, and it has some of the things that Alicia just talked about, the project. So do check that, and if you do have any questions following that, like, I'm always here, my email's there in the chat, but do chat to your committee members, because they'll probably be in a WhatsApp group with me as well. So